All right. So you're going to start with your ball. If you're using a cushion, then just pop that between your knees for now so that it's accessible. Yeah, you're going to start with the ball on one side of your hip. So just standing with the feet slightly apart, so they don't have to be super wide. Make sure that your feet are parallel. So just check that inside edge of your feet, that the bunion edge of the feet and the heel on the inside edge are the same distance apart. Bunion edge, it's a good way of describing it. Right, so soften those knees. Let's go tall through the spine. Starting up tall, you're going to just pull your shoulders back into their sockets, if that makes sense. So try and feel like you're pulling your scapula, that flat bone, you're pulling it down your back and a little bit inward. So you're setting your shoulders into the joints. It kind of might make you feel like you're growing a little bit taller. And then you're going to roll the ball down. If you have a ball, you just roll it down towards your knee on the one side. It doesn't matter which side you go to. You might find that you feel like you're collapsing a little bit, but I want you to see if you can balance out your weight distribution over your 2 feet. So be careful that you're not suddenly shifting your weight over onto the side you're leaning towards. That'll cause you to lengthen out more on the off side, and then roll that slowly back up. If you're doing this without a ball, that's okay. Just slide that hand down towards the knee, and let's go down again. So keep the weight the weight distribution even over your feet. Just check in with yourself that you might be trying to go too low, and that means that the shoulder's coming up to make you look better or feel better, and the shoulder might be rolling forwards a little bit. Those are the 2 kind of little cheats that our bodies get up to. Check your weight distribution and roll that ball slowly back up. Don't go so far that you feel a compression either side of the lower back. So you want to be careful. Roll the ball around, pop it on the other side. Swoop those shoulder blades back down into your back, and then roll that ball slowly down the side. Check that weight. Are you shifting over onto the side that you are leaning towards? Hold it there. Check in with your shoulder and your neck, and then rolling that ball slowly back up. So everything else stays quiet. It's really literally just a little tilt of the shoulders. Coming over to the side, roll that ball down. Nice. Holding it there. And then rolling it slowly back up. I want you to hold the ball, and now if you've got a cushion, then hold the cushion in your hands. I'm going to change my view here. I just realized that I can only see myself, which is really not my aim in life. Okay, that's much better. Now I can see all your beautiful faces and bodies. You're going to tuck the chin in. I want you to imagine that this is the heaviest ball and the heaviest pillow that you've held. You're going to tuck the chin in, and you're going to let that ball pull you down one vertebra at a time towards the floor. Keep your shoulders relaxed, your neck relaxed. Your arms are heavy in their sockets because that ball is like a bowling ball. And then you're going to engage those tummy muscles and start restacking the ball. The ball is heavy, the spine is restacking. Come slowly back up, roll those shoulders back up, the head comes up, and you grow tall through the spine. And just set those shoulders again one more time. Swoop them back into their joints. Your shoulder blades go down and a little bit inwards. I want you to come slowly back down again. So you're holding that heavy, heavy bowling ball. Keep the tummy engaged so that you can articulate through the spine. If you just collapse forward, you don't actually start mobilizing your spine. You just kind of flop like a rag doll. Now, when you're at the bottom there, I want you to start rolling the ball or just sliding the pillow around to your left side. You're just kind of moving the shoulders around to the left. Push back into your right hip. You'll feel quite a nice lower back stretch, and then you come all the way around to the other side. Around to the right, push it back into that left hip. So you're pushing your left bum towards the wall behind you. And then roll it back to the center. Hold on to that very heavy bowling ball. Tummy tight and start restacking the spine. One vertebra at a time comes up. Shoulders come up onto your ribs, and your head comes up and you grow tall through the spine. Hold that ball in front of you, or the pillow, it doesn't matter. It just gives you a sense of where your hands are, and it keeps your hands together. Keep the knees a little bit soft, so just check in that your feet haven't changed position. You're going to keep your hips as still as you can, and I want you to rotate your shoulders around to the side. They're not going to go far. So if you try and go too far, then your hips will swivel. Come back to the center and round to the other side. See if you can keep the hips quiet and come back. And notice how little rotation we actually have in our thoracic spine, because right now we're taking our pelvis and our lumbar spine out of it. We're forcing our upper spine, our mid back, to do the rotation, and that's quite hard work and quite small range of movement. Rotate side to side, keep those shoulders down, relaxing into the neck. So although you're holding your arms up, your neck is not getting involved. And just doing one more to each side. Doesn't matter too much which side you went to first. Just even yourself out. Keep those hips straight forwards if you can. And then come back to the center. Take the ball down to the front of your body and just shake out the shoulders a little bit. You're going to take the ball back up to in front of you. It's just up to about, just below shoulder height. So you can bend your elbows a little bit. But this is also just going to give you a point of contact. So you're going to bend your knees down. Imagine that you are sitting down into a chair. And then come and stand up nice and tall. Squeeze the bum on the up. Come down. And then squeeze the bum. Go, Rose, go. We've got pants on, it's good, don't worry. we've had streakers before, it's terrifying. You're sitting down onto the chair and you're coming up. Now we're going to add on to this. So now I want you to take that ball or your cushion, take it to the outside of your right knee, and then come back up to the center. Just in time to warm up, Rose. Perfect, don't worry. And come back up. You missed the boring part. Coming down. And up. Now, as you're doing this, check in with those knees. Are they able to stay straight? Or is your whole body doing like a little bit of a pretzel as you go up and down? Check in with the feet that they parallel as you go up and down. And come up. We've got one more to each side. So one more to the right and one more to the left. Here we go. And just by doing these funny little swivels, come back up to the center. Put the arms back down and just roll the shoulders up to your ears and backwards, opening up the chest. Nicely done. Just by doing those squats, it kind of gets the blood pumping. So you'll see we're warming up a little bit. Right, stand to the back of your mat. Your feet remain parallel. So just reposition yourself. You're right. Okay, holding that ball or your cushion in the front of your thighs. You're going to tuck the chin in and roll the ball, or just slide the cushion down the front of your thighs. Don't worry too much about that heaviness of the ball. Just articulate through the spine. And notice that maybe already it feels just a little bit easier for you to kind of roll down and hang in the bottom of your roll down position. Take a nice deep breath in. Roll slowly back up. Pause when your ball or your pillow gets to your knees. Pop the ball between your knees. There we go. And don't move your feet. So hopefully the ball is wide enough that you now feel like to get your knees in line with your toes, you've got to give a squeeze on the ball. Pull the tummy tight and keep restacking, because we're just going to reposition our legs and our feet. So I want you to move your feet fairly close together. So when I say close together, mine go to just inside of hip distance apart. But you need to feel like the ball is pushing your knees out and you're having to squeeze to get your knees in line. Okay? Right. So you're squeezing that ball. Your knees are in line with your toes. Your knees are a little bit soft. You tuck the chin in, rounding those shoulders, articulate through the spine and come all the way down to the bottom of your roll down. Keep those knees squeezing in on the ball. Just hang there for a second. Breathe in and out. And then bend your knees enough that you can get your hands down flat onto the mat and walk your hands out 3 big steps and gently lower those knees down to the mat. Right, so you've got the ball neatly placed between your knees. Stack your wrists under your shoulders. So get a neutral spine position with your wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Release your feet at the back if that feels okay. So it's entirely up to you. Actually, no, don't release the feet. Tuck the toes. My gosh, a little moment there. Find your neutral position with your spine. I want you to squeeze the ball some more, or your pillow. Squeeze it a little bit extra. Pull that tummy nice and tight and just lift the knees, hover, but squeeze the ball. So I want a big squeeze on the ball. Those inner thighs are going to work hard. And it'll take away a bit of the pain everywhere else. And then lowering slowly back down and release. Don't let the knees go wider in particular. So just kind of place them down where they are, but release the squeeze on the knees, on the ball. Pull that tummy tight and lift those knees up. Now squeeze the ball as you're up. Hold it there. Don't let your bum go too high. You want 2-3 inches off the mat. That's it. Tummy pulled in. Everything else is fairly calm. And lower slowly down. And the thighs are waking up. We've got one more to go. I want you just to think about your shoulders for a second. So see if you can get that little squeeze into the armpits. Try and get those shoulder blades down your back a little bit and towards each other a tiny bit. Pull that tummy tight. We've got a last one to go. Squeeze that ball. Lift those knees. Float them up. Squeeze the oranges into your armpits. You're not working into your neck. You're working into your inner thighs. And then relax. Slowly back down. Nicely done. You can release the feet at the back now. I want you to take the ball out between your knees and sit down onto your mat. Place the ball under your left knee. Actually, there we go. Right, so your right knee can do whatever you like. So you can have it bent and your shoulders or your hands can be behind you, or you can have it out straight, whatever feels comfortable for your legs, back, knee, whatever. We're focusing on the left knee. So pull the tummy nice and tight. And all you're going to do is you're going to pull the toes up towards you on that left foot. And you're going to straighten that left knee. Tighten the quad so that you get a straight leg. And then let it go back down. Now you can, if you need to modify a little bit, you could sit all the way back. If you're really battling with hamstrings, then you can lie yourself all the way back. That's actually quite uncomfortable for me, but that's fine. So it's up to you. You could lean against the couch if you wanted to. Lift that foot, squeeze the leg straight, and lower it slowly back down. It should be a very easy movement, but what I want you to concentrate on is that little muscle that's sort of above and to the inside of your kneecap. So you should see a little bit of a bulge, and in fact, if you poke it there, then you should feel it kind of pop up as your knee gets to about 10 degrees left of flexion. So you might want to poke that little, just kind of an inch above your kneecap and to the inside. And then squeeze it up. You're squeezing it up and down. It's important that you get that last 10 degrees squeeze because that's when it pops. The really important knee stabilizer. Keep that foot pointing straight up to the ceiling. Let's just do one more. I have no idea how many hundreds of these we did. And relax it all the way down. Now, you're going to turn so that your knee points a little bit out to the side, but then just reposition the ball so it's still supporting under your knee. So you're not rolling your leg off the ball. You've got the ball under the knee, but your knee is now pointing out about 45 degrees to the side. It's a little bit hard to explain, but I think we'll get it. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to squeeze and lift. So your leg is going to go kind of a little bit out to the side as you lift it up. Keep your knee still. So if someone had a pin through the center of your knee joint, it's not moving except straightening and bending a little bit. And then you can poke that muscle a little bit if you want to. See if you can feel that muscle popping up as you get to the last few degrees of straightening. With 3 to go. There we go, all the way straight. You've got to get it totally straight. So if you need to change the angle of your shoulders and lie back a bit for hamstring sake, and relax all the way down there. It's a pretty simple exercise, but it wakes up. It's called your vastus medialis. That's your inside quad muscle. Very important, the guy. Change the ball over to the other side. Sit back, relax. Pull those toes up on the right and straightening that knee. And bend it back down. Just straighten the knee. So in fact, if you wanted to, what might make it easier would be almost push down into the ball just a little bit. That's how you get it super straight. Does that help at all? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Maybe give that muscle a little bit of a poke. Be careful that your foot's not turning out yet, still pointing straight up to the ceiling. I think we're on about 8. Whew, gosh. 9. Well, lucky for you, I wasn't counting either. Last one. And come slowly back down. Lift your foot off, your leg off the ball and turn it outwards just a little bit so that your leg is still supported underneath by the ball. And you're going to straighten that leg. So it comes sort of, your foot is pointing at about a 45-degree angle. So as you straighten, your thigh bone doesn't move. Yeah, makes sense. I'm hoping that all my online bodies are managing. Straighten. You might feel a little bit of a shake. I don't know if it's just me, but often you feel the shake as you release it back down. I've got quite a shake going on here. How about a clutch shudder? Last two. I don't know what's going on. You know, these things happen to the best of us. Last one. Squeeze it up and slowly back down. Nicely done. Take the ball out from under your knee. So that's, I mean, it's not strenuous, that one, but it's an important little activation. We're just waking those muscles up. Hold the ball in your hands, move to the front of your mat. Feet are going to be hip distance apart and your knees are bent. Your feet are flat on the mat. Right, you can just kick that away, Rose. All right, holding the ball out in front of you, but I want it below shoulder height. It's really important, otherwise your neck's going to get involved. So shoulders down, squeeze the ball just a little bit, tuck the tailbone under, and lean yourself back. Don't go all the way back. Hold it there, breathe. Relax the neck, relax the shoulders. Widen your collarbones and squeeze those shoulder blades together a little bit. It seems weird. And then sit yourself back up and release the squeeze on the ball. Squeeze the ball, your chest works. Tuck the tailbone, lean back, tummy works. Now concentrate on your shoulders, so pull them down into the joints, squeeze the shoulder blades together, squeeze the ball. There's a lot to kind of focus on. That's the phrase I was thinking of. Come slowly all the way back up. Keep the elbows out to the side just a little bit because you're working quite isolated chest muscles. And tuck the tailbone, lean back, squeeze the ball, lengthen the neck, shoulder blades together, collarbones wide. Are you breathing? Excellent. Coming slowly back up. Nice. Okay, take your ball in front of you. Arms are going to be straight. If you can, then hold it in one hand. So you might need to kind of balance it depending on how squishy your ball is. You're going to lean yourself back. Find that tummy connection. So the tummy needs to be working. Then you're going to hold the ball in one hand, reach it out and behind you, and then come forwards and pass it to the other hand. Reach it out and behind you, down to almost down to the corner of your mat, so the back corner of your mat, and then come up. And down and behind you. Almost ideal if you're having to balance it, try balance it on the palm of your hand. You've kind of got to keep your shoulder a little bit softer. You've got to keep the balancing going. So tummy working a little bit. Definitely warming up. There we go. And come forwards. We've got 2 to go. There we go. Even yourself out. I can't remember which side we started on, to be honest. Last one to the right. If you started on the left, bring it back up and sit yourself up. Nice and tall. Beautiful. Excellent. Okay, take the ball between your knees. You're going to hold onto your shins. I want you to just lengthen your spine up. So sit yourself up as tall as you can, pulling on your shins. Lean yourself back and see if you can lift your feet off the ground. So you're just balancing there, but you're balancing with a straight spine. So it's not you're rolling like a ball balance. Here we go. Hold it there. Now you're going to see if you can move your hands to the back of your thighs. And we're going to straighten those legs up if you can, just to tabletop. Hold the tummy tight. Hold it there. If you can, let go of the hands. Let go of the legs, not let go of the hands. Hold it there. Hold on to your legs if you need to. That's okay. Keep the spine straight. See if you can lengthen up a little bit. Someone's pulling on your breastbone up to the ceiling. And then hold onto your legs and collapse yourself back down. It's good to get a response every now and again. Actually, I hate everyone being muted online, but I think we get some sound effects. Okay. How's everybody? We're going to try that again. Same thing. Hold behind your thighs, start off with. Lengthen your spine up tall. Lean yourself back. I'm not looking at any faces here. Lift those feet if you can. Beautiful form. There we go. Hold it there. See if you can get the legs up while you're still holding onto your thighs. Hold it there. Open the collarbones. And now if it's available to you, let those hands go. Hold it there. Nice. Very nice. If you hold it for 2 seconds, that's amazing. Beautiful. Spine is straight. Hold onto those thighs. Push yourself back down. That should wake up those hip flexors a little bit, eh? All right. Ball between your tummy and your thighs. Oh, I've just remembered a brilliant exercise. I wonder if we should do it. No, Richard will hate it. It's too much hamstring flexibility required. We'll do it on Wednesday. Don't panic, Richard. Okay, so you're going to hold onto your shins. Make sure you've got space behind you. You're going to lift your feet up. You're now rolling like a ball. You know, like in acting classes, they're like, you must be the ball to act like the ball. So now we're going to be the ball. So round yourself over your ball. Hug it to your chest using your knees, but using your arms to help. As you breathe in, you roll yourself back. And then coming back up and balance. And then back again. Breathe out as you come up. That gives you the momentum to come up. You can keep yourself going in your own time. Round your spine so that you're trying not to plonkety plonk as you go. It's quite hard. If you've got rigid places in your spine, it's hard. Now, let's see if we can pause on your next up. See if you can take your hands away from your knees. Hold the ball there and roll like a ball. So you can't let the ball go. I might not get this right. That's okay. Up. There we go. Hold the ball there. Oh, nice. You got to hold it and you can catch it. Don't worry. No one's watching. Good. Hold it there. We've got 2 more to go. Let's do 5. Hip flexors are cramping. That's good. Up we go. We got 1 more to go. Hold on to your knees if you need. And up. Just let it there. Okay, well done. Hold on to the legs. Take the ball out. Don't throw it away. Don't beat up the ball. It's my fault, not the ball's fault. Okay. It's quite a lot of hard work. And it just, for me, that one outlines, it kind of points out our technique that we use our arms so much that actually we should be holding ourselves with our abdominals and our hip flexors into that ball shape. So it's just a little bit of a sneaky, you know, right. I promise this is the only one we're going to do of this one, but I want you to see if you can tilt yourself back and take your legs up to tabletop. Balance the ball on your legs, arms are out, and you're going to try and lie yourself down onto the mat. Feet can be slightly apart. You're going to tuck the tailbone and roll yourself down. Lying down, your legs are at tabletop and your arms are up to the ceiling. And if you didn't do that elegantly and beautifully, that's fine. That was amazing. Well done. Good job, everybody. Okay, everyone I saw did that so well. Okay, holding the ball, take the ball off your legs. That was just for fun. Put the ball between your ankles. Right. Actually, hug those knees up to the chest just for a few seconds. Oh, you've worked hard. Rock that body side to side. It's mainly because I need a break. I'm just saying, you know. Okay, so you've got the ball between your ankles. And we're going to take those legs to tabletop to start off with. You're not gripping the ball, you've just got it there. So it's kind of giving you a point of contact between your ankles. Take your hands up to the ceiling. We're going to start with our basic double leg stretch. So let's see how it feels. And if we want to add on, then we can. Tuck the chin in, lift those shoulders, and your hands will automatically drop to in line with your shins. Yeah? Okay, so they're to the sides of your shins. And then come slowly back down. If this gives you any kind of symptoms in your neck, then hold behind your head. Lifting the shoulders, rounding up, lengthen those hands towards your ankles, and then come slowly back down. So it's just a little chest lift, but without neck support possibly. If it doesn't feel great, then support your neck coming up. And then slowly back down. Remember to breathe. 1 more. Lifting the head, lift the shoulders, stretch your hands forwards, and come slowly back down. Arms are still up to the ceiling. If you can, we're going to add on to that. If not, then stay with that exercise. Straighten the legs as much as you can. Now, they don't have to go super straight up to the sky. That's fine. They can be mostly straight. That's also fine. Arms are straight up to the ceiling. You're going to take your legs down to about 60 degrees. Your arms are going to go back to 60 degrees. You're going to bring your legs and your arms back up and pass the ball to your hands and take your arms and your legs back down. Change your range if it's hard. Change the position of the ball. Maybe between your shins is better, or between your knees is better. Keep passing the ball backwards and forwards. Keep the tummy working. Keep the shoulder blades swooped down your back. So don't let your neck get involved in this one. It's all about the tummy and the hip flexors and the adductors. Go back to the starting point if you're battling. So just holding the ball between your ankles and doing little chest lifts. There we go. We've got 2 to go. Back in your legs and back in your hands. Last lowering. Bring the ball back and hug it on top of your shins. Just hug those knees to the chest. Ah, nicely done. Rock the body side to side just to massage out the back just a little bit. Nicely done. Right, let's take a little bit of a breather. Pop the ball between your knees and place your feet down hip distance apart on the mat. Here we go. Okay, so you've got your feet fairly close. Your heels are quite close to your pelvis, so bend your knees a fair amount. We're going to start by keeping your spine in a neutral position. So you should have a little bit less pressure in your lower back. If you need to, you could put your hands on your front little hip bones, those little bones that stick out the front. And that'll tell you if your pelvis is moving at all as you just squeeze the ball. So squeeze as hard as you can. Don't let that pelvis tuck. So you're going to find that your lower back wants to flatten. Squeeze the ball hard as you can and relax. Doesn't matter what you're squeezing, if it's a pillow, a ball, or a cat, whatever. And relax. Squeeze that ball. And relax. Keep going your own sort of speed. Try not to lift your pelvis or change the pressure of your pelvis on the mat, which sounds weird, but you might, if you notice it now, you might notice that kind of as you squeeze, you tend to want to lift your pelvis just a little bit. Those sneaky other muscles trying to take over. We've got 1 more to go. It's all about the inner thighs. Squeeze and now hold it there. Got a nice big pressure on that ball. Hands down by your sides. If they were anywhere else, you're going to squeeze the bum, flatten your back onto the mat and start rolling those hips up. Good old classic bridge, but you've got a massive squeeze on the ball. So your inner thighs are working hard. Rolling slowly back down from the top of your spine. Your bum hits the mat and you can release that squeeze on the ball. Give your inner thighs a little rest. And then squeeze the ball again. Squeeze the bum, roll those hips up. Relax your neck and your shoulders. Remember, they're not helping just yet. They might not help at all, actually. Come slowly back down and release. The ball is the first thing you squeeze and the last thing you release. Give it a big squeeze. We've got 3 to go. So make it your best 3. Rolling down, articulating through the spine. Remember to breathe. Don't let this get too easy. So we mustn't relax in this exercise in particular. So we've got to keep focus in terms of that articulation through the spine. Our breath works. So how does our breath help us? And then release once you've done your last 2. Okay. How's everybody doing? All okay? We've got like an inner thigh cramp going on there. Okay. Let's take the ball, place it between your ankles and roll yourself onto your right side. Oh. Yep, grab your ball. There we go. Okay. You're going to take your legs out long and straight. Okay. Oh, my eyes have gone all like blotchy. Anyway, that's okay. That's a very good idea. So find something comfortable to put your head on. If it's a spare ball that you happen to have lying around, or a cushion or an arm or whatever it is, you've just got the ball there again. It's just for information for your body to keep your ankles slightly apart. So if it's a cushion, that's absolutely fine. Right, check your alignment. So you've got your ear, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle in a straight line. Engage that underside oblique of your right obliques and just float those legs up off the ground. See how high you can get them without that ball swizzling. So don't let it do a little scissor. It's got to stay nice and still. So in some ways, the ball is quite revealing in terms of that particular movement. Take your left arm up to the sky and lower those legs slowly back down. Let's lift up again. Keep that right oblique engaged. If you need to put the hand down in front of your tummy, do that. Keep your movement as perfect as you can. And so whatever modifications we need to make those modifications. So if you need to help yourself to perfect the basics, lifting up and down, check in with your right oblique. Is it still working? Is it still engaged? We've got one more to go. Very nice. And are you still breathing? Relax the neck, slowly back down, and place that left hand in front of your tummy this time. If it's not there, bend the knees, but your heels are going towards your bum. So you're not bringing your knees up in front of you. Your heels are kind of just tucking up towards your bum. Knees can flop together. Right. Well, you're right. Okay. Keep your left hand in front of your tummy. Don't worry too much about your obliques on this one, but I want you to worry about your hips. So your hips need to stay still the whole time with this exercise. They're not allowed to roll backwards. You're going to keep the ball there, which means your ankles kind of have to stay in the same place. And you're going to lift that top knee up and then come slowly down. And you'll notice that with your feet on the ball, so feet slightly separated, means you get a nice big range of movement. But keep those hips still. So don't let them roll backwards as you lift. With 3 to go. And slowly down. Last 2. And down. Relaxing the neck, relaxing the shoulder. Last one, pause. Hold it there. Don't let that knee go down. Keep the knee up. And you're going to lift those feet. And slowly down. Keep the knees wide as you can. Don't let that knee drop. Lift the feet. Oh, getting a butt cramp. Oh gosh, that's not going to end well. Lift the feet. Keep that top knee pulled up. Don't let the hips roll back. Lift the feet. What are we on? 3. 3 to go. Lift. Squeeze. Open the knees. Down. This is not that pleasant stretchy class that I promised. And slowly down, relax your neck. Is your neck getting involved? Because it's getting hard. Last one. And slowly down. Flop that knee back down. Take the ball out from between your knees. Bring the knees up high in front of you. And you can just place the ball somewhere close. Stretch your left arm out in front of you. We're just going to do a nice little thoracic rotation. So lift that arm all the way up. Open it wide out to the side. Turn your head to the left so that you can look out to that left side. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Remember to try and relax into the stretch. As you're lying there, I want you to take your left hand, slide it down the mat towards your bum. So it's just swooping down. And then bring it back up, swoop up the mat, all the way up to your ear if you can. So you're doing like a little half snow angel. Swoop it down to the bum and bring it slowly back up. Now you might find that there's a little bit of a sticking point. So there's a point where it just feels a little bit extra stretchy. Stop there briefly and just take deep breaths in and out. Feel like someone's pulling on your left arm and someone's pulling on your left knee. So that knee is kind of heading away from your fingertips on your left hand. It'll create a large rotation to the spine. And then you can bring that hand back down to a T-junction or wherever it was. Bring it up over your face and stretch it out in front of you on the mat. Rotating that left shoulder down towards the mat. Get a nice little counter stretch. And then you can bring that hand all the way back to in front of you and just roll yourself over to the other side, but take the ball with you and pop it between your ankles. There we go. So find that happy place for your arm and your neck and your shoulder underneath. Legs are out long and straight. And check that you've got your ankles and your knee and your hip and your shoulder and your ear all in a straight line. So it's quite important to check it every time. I know it sounds, I feel like I'm nagging on that one every time. It's the same thing. But it's important to check because our body's trying to kind of cheat a little bit and compensate for the hardness. Okay. So find a happy place for your head and your neck. Relax that shoulder on the top. Your right hand is in front of your tummy for now. Lift up into those left obliques and float those legs up off the floor. The inner thighs might be saying, hold it just a little bit, because we did quite a lot of work there. Hold it there for a few seconds. You're checking in with like what is working and what is staying quiet. So your neck and your shoulders want to stay quiet. You want to be engaged in that left oblique, and you want to be lifting from your underside leg. That's actually the leg that's lifting, and lift that up arm up to the ceiling. Hold it there, and then lowering those legs slowly back down. And lift. Just notice maybe you are scissoring a little bit over that ball, so it gives you a bit of information that maybe you're not working in like a perfect straight line, and that's okay. Keep that left oblique engaged. Don't let it collapse. Nice, looking good. Remember, if you need to put your hand in front of your tummy, then do that so that you can keep the integrity of the exercise. And slowly down. 2 to go. Breathe out as you lift, in as you come down. Last one, I think. How do I lose count on 3? Slowly down and relax. Place that hand down in front of your tummy. Bend the knees, so tucking your heels towards your bum, not bringing the knees high in front of you. Want your ankles in line with your bum. There we go. Okay. Let the knees flop together. So for now, in that position, just check where your hips are. So keep your hips still. If you need to put the hand on the shelf of your hip, just so that you can check that it doesn't roll back, lift that top knee up as high as you can. And then lower it slowly all the way back down. So you're getting quite a full range. You're getting a wide opening because your feet are slightly apart. And you're getting a full closing because your feet are slightly apart. And check in, are you rolling those hips back? Is that right shoulder tight into the neck? Lifting up with 3 to go on this one. And even with this one, you can assist yourself with breathing. Breathe out as you lift up. And in fact, sometimes breathing out helps you to engage those core stabilizers a little bit too. So your lower abdominals can be engaged as you're breathing out. Last one, you're going to hold it up there. So pause with that knee up. Now lifting that bottom leg, push up into the ball and come slowly back down. Don't let the knees collapse together, lifting up. We're going for 6, just so you know, we've got 4 to go. I will count this one. That's number 3. Lifting up. Squeeze those knees as wide as you can. Keep them as wide as you can. Is your neck involved? My neck was involved there. Ugh, slowly down. Now, what number are we on? Last 2. Good heavens. Last one. Lift, hold, squeeze. And come slowly all the way back down. Very nicely done. Take that ball out from between the knees. Bring the knees up high in front of you. Take your right arm out, long on the mat in front of you, and then lift it up and over and rotate those shoulders behind you. Just looking around to that right side, let your knees slide and your hips relaxed. You're not trying to hold anything in any particular position. Nice deep breaths. There we go. And then as long as that's a relatively comfortable position, you can start moving that right hand down towards your bum. So keep it low on the mat if you can. Not too low, depending on how your shoulder range of movement is, and then sliding it up to your ear. All the way up and around, doing that little half snow angel. So take it all the way down to your bum, and then sliding it all the way up and around. Each time you might notice that your range actually gets a little bit better. Find that sticking point where it feels a little bit tighter than the rest of the range, and just pause there briefly. I want you to imagine that someone's pulling on that arm. So your right fingertips are being pulled away from you, and the space between your right knee and your right hand is getting a little bit bigger. You just get a little bit of a kind of a mental traction, not for real. Deep breath. And then you can bring that hand back out to the side, so depending on where it was, and lift it up and over and stretch it out on the mat in front of you. Getting that nice counter rotation. And you can bring that hand all the way back, and you're going to push yourself up so that you're sitting up. The only reason you're sitting up, don't panic, is to place the ball just below your shoulder blades. So kind of, if you had a bra strap, that's where it would be, but just below the shoulder blades there. Yeah, it should be a nice, comfortable position. Your legs can be out long, or you can have your knees bent. If your knees are bent, it'll protect your lower back just a little bit more. So maybe start with your knees bent, and then straighten them out if you find that it actually feels okay. Take both of your hands behind your head. There we go. So even if you have a cushion, that's fine. Just roll up the cushion so it's super fat under your like mid-thoracic. It's actually at that point, whenever we're lying and doing our cobra, it's that point that I want you to connect into to lift. So now we're just mobilizing into that space. Hands behind the head. Keep your elbows close to your face if you're battling at all with shoulders and neck. Otherwise, you can open the elbows slightly out to the side. So see what feels comfortable for you. And then you're going to slowly start lowering yourself backwards over the ball. Now, see how far it feels okay to go. You don't force this one. You don't necessarily need your head to go down onto the mat behind you. That might not be physically possible. And then you're going to pull the tummy tight. So the way you get out of this is you start curling your pelvis into a posterior tilt. So try and push your lower back towards the mat, and that pulls you back up into like a little chest lift. Can you feel that? It feels okay. So you don't want to feel this uncomfortably into your back. Come slowly all the way back. Rest yourself over the ball. This should feel nice. It should not feel overly uncomfortable. Like uncomfortable in a nice way, if that makes sense. And then tuck the tailbone under. Push the lower back towards the mat, and that's what pulls you back up. You're very supported in your neck, so try and relax your neck as much as you can. This is about opening up your thoracic spine. If you want to see how it feels with your legs out straight, you can give it a try. You might find that it feels easier. You might find it feels harder. If you feel your lower back arching too much, then maybe bend your knees a little bit. And then tuck the tailbone. Don't lose that tuck as you roll yourself back up into a chest lift. Nice. We're going to just do two more. Lie yourself back. Let your chest kind of reverse over the ball. Hold it there. Bring your elbows too close to your face. Hold it there. And just take a deep breath in and out, and see if you could just soften a little bit more into that position. And then tuck that tailbone in, support your head, and roll yourself back up. Okay, we've got one more to go. It should feel nice. I hope so. Come slowly all the way backwards over the ball. Your elbows can be wherever it feels nicest for you. So if you like your elbows kind of out to the sides, if it's getting into the chest a little bit, which is a nice release, then do that. Otherwise, if closer to your face feels good, then do that too. Whatever feels the most nice. And tuck the tailbone. Engage those abdominals, and that's what pulls you slowly back up. Bend your knees in if they were not bent. Roll yourself into the one side to come off that ball entirely, and then roll yourself onto your chest, onto the ball. So place it at the bottom of your sternum. I'm just turning myself around. You can stay in the orientation on your mat. I just didn't want to be, that way around. All right. Your legs are going to be out long. Is Richard finishing his cup of tea there? Roll yourself all the way over the ball. So just flatten yourself. I know this is the one that you would want to sit and watch tea with, drinking your tea. Watch this one, not do this one. Right, we're doing our little cobras. So squeeze that bum just a little bit. Tuck the chin in, breathe in. As you push the sternum into the ball, and you can lift your chest away from the ball just a little bit. So the top of your breastbone lifts away. Your shoulders and your neck are nice and relaxed. You're squeezing the bum so you're not arching into the lower back. With the ball under your chest, it's quite easy to arch the lower back. And lowering slowly all the way down. And then as you breathe in, follow that movement, lift the chest, poke the ball with the bottom of your sternum. Squeeze the bum so you get a little bit of a tuck with the pelvis. You've got to still find that melting point that we just released. In fact, it might even feel a little bit easier than normal because we've just done that nice little extension over the ball. And lower yourself slowly back down. Now, see how this feels. If you're feeling it just working enough, then stick with that. Otherwise, we're going to add on. So breathe in. Lift yourself away from the ball. The top of your sternum lifts away from the ball. Squeeze the bum so you've got a good, strong anchor in the pelvis. Your lower back's not working. Float your arms up off the mat. They might be able to go quite high, maybe not, that's fine. Keep your neck nice and long. We're going to take your arms forwards. It's called the breaststroke. So push the arms forwards to a low V. Swoop them around to the side. Keep your elbows down now. As you bend the elbows, your hands come up towards your chest, and then you shoot them forwards into a low V. It's actually lovely doing this on the ball because you find that you get a nice extension into the back. Hands come down to your sides, bend the elbows, clean the floor, and then straighten the arms out into that low V, neck relaxed. Swoop the arms around to the side. Squeeze your hands to your sides as you lift your chest a little bit more with your arms back. Bend the elbows, clean the floor, and straighten the arms out. If this doesn't feel okay in your back, then go back to those little extensions. As you get back with your hands, squeeze and lift a little bit more. Bend the elbows. We've got 2 to go. Don't forget to breathe. Neck relaxed. Squeeze and lift as your arms go back. Bend the elbows. Last one. Arms go forward. Are you breathing? Relax that neck if you can. And then bend the elbows. Place the hands down onto the mat. Elbows can be up. Push yourself off the ball. Round yourself back into a rest position. Nice deep breaths in and out. Here we go. Nicely done. So you can ignore the ball or you can use it as a pillow or a cushion or whatever feels lovely. Stretch your arms out long in front of you if you can, if that feels right in the shoulders and the neck. And take deep breaths in. You want to be breathing into your rib cage. Go. Excellent. Oh no. Holding it there. And then you can pull yourself all the way back up onto all fours. The next one, you've got a choice. So let's just see. So either you're going to lie down on your back and go into your glute stretch. Okay, we all know the figure of 4 stretch. Otherwise, bring your left knee up, right up towards your left wrist. Swivel your lower leg across so that your foot is coming towards your right hand. It's not going to come all the way towards your right hand. So it means that your hips are now kind of sagging down a little bit. You can now start sliding that right leg back on the mat as far as it'll go. And you're going to might split your pants. That's why lycra, people, lycra. Hold it there. Otherwise, go into your glute stretch. So you can lie on your back and go into that figure of 4. I'm just checking to see how many people, okay. Yeah, this is quite an awkward position to get into, but it works so nicely to get into the glutes and the adductors. I feel like I'm literally doing this all alone. So let's go into our glute stretch on our back. Okay, so you've got your left ankle crossed onto your right side. Hold behind your right leg. Pull the knee up to your chest. I'll just note to self that one. Leave the pigeon stretch out of Monday evenings. And then push with that left elbow onto the left side. Don't forget your checklist. So since we're back in our familiar territory, and lengthen that tailbone away from you just a little bit. Keep pushing and pulling and sort of counter, moving with the pelvis a little bit. So you want to make sure that you are aggressively stretching that left hip. Deep breaths in and out. This is such a nice stretch, actually. It's just effective. It's uncomplicated. The other one's just a little bit unusual. And let go of that right thigh, uncross the legs, change over to the other side. So right Ankle onto left side, lift that left leg up. Pull that left knee up towards your chest as tightly as you can. And hold it there. I did make a note of like, it could be either or. Yeah, you see, there was too much forewarning. I need to sneak you guys. Yeah, you're right. I'll figure out a way to get you into a pretzel without you even knowing. Push with that right elbow onto the right thigh. Pull onto that left leg. Arch into the lower back just a little bit. It's a tiny movement. That lower back arch is really just like a tweak. Don't hurt the lower back doing it. You can get almost everything you need out of the stretch just by keeping that left knee high enough and then pushing out on the right. Deep breaths. Go. And you can gently just release that left thigh, uncross the legs. Let's take both of the knees up to your chest. Hold them up there nice and tightly. Actually, we're going to do a quick adductor stretch. How are we doing? Yes, let's do a quick adductor stretch. So let go of your right knee and slide that leg straight down the mat. So I was just deciding because based on what we've just stretched. So right leg is out long, left knee is tightly up to your chest. Hold it up as tightly as you can and get as active as you can into your right leg, pushing it down onto the mat. So find length into that right leg. Now take your left knee out towards your left armpit. Imagine you're trying to put your knee onto the floor behind your left shoulder. Yeah, dancers can do that. But we are human. We are not dancers. See what I did there? Hook that elbow if you need to. So find whatever position feels comfortable that you can get a good pull on that left knee at that diagonal going out over that left side. And now don't forget about that right leg. You're pushing it down into the mat and long away from you. You're creating as much space between your left knee and your right heel as you can. That's that stretch that you're looking for. Groin should be stretching, and then slide that knee back into the center. Bring your right knee up to join your left knee first, and then let that left knee go. Slide that leg down long onto the mat. Pull the right knee up tightly to your chest and get quite connected into the left leg. So you're trying to push that left leg down to the mat. You might well feel a hip flexor stretch already in this one if you've got very tight hip flexors. And then take that right knee to the floor behind your right shoulder. Come on, you can do it. Hook your elbow around the right knee if you need to, and get a strong connection into that left leg. So you're trying to create that space between your right knee and your left heel. Push that leg away from you, that left leg, and pull. That looks amazing. Excellent. You're all looking so beautiful tonight. Hold it there. And then slide that knee back in. Be gentle with the release on this one. Bring your left knee up. Hug both of those knees up nice and tightly. Just rock side to side maybe for a few seconds. And then hold behind those thighs. Give yourself a little kick and roll yourself back up. You can cross the feet over one another and just swing yourself around so that you're in your roll down position. You roll down, but your balls of your feet are on the mat. Let's turn those heels over the balls of your feet a few times in one direction. Keep lots of support in your hands. So it's not about the weight going through your toes and that mobilization. It's more just about finding your range of movement and then change direction. So it's only what feels good. And the toes and the knuckly bits. And then center your heels. Check that your feet are going to be parallel to one another. Push into your hands. Push that bum up towards the ceiling and find a nice stretch into the hamstring. So don't let the hands go away from the mat just yet. Push the bum up towards the ceiling. Knees stay in line with your toes. Bend the knees to release the stretch. Breathe out. Push the bum up towards the ceiling. Keep the hands down on the mat. Stretch into the hamstrings. And breathe in. And breathe out again. Last one.
stretch into the back of the hamstrings. Breathing in, engage the tummy muscles. As you breathe out now, straighten the knees a little bit so that you find the bottom of your roll down, and then start restacking your spine. As you breathe out, don't worry about the breath anymore. Breathe as you need to. Stand up nice and tall, head and shoulders come up, lengthen up through your spine. Take those arms out to the sides. Deep breath in, connect the fingertips. Grow taller as you stretch upwards, and then breathing out and breathing in. Stretch up to the ceiling, connect the fingertips. And breathing out. And there you have it, everybody. Such a nice little extension over the ball. So long as your backs all felt okay with that, sometimes the only thing you need to change is that you need to put your head onto a cushion or something like that, which I forgot to mention. But looked like everyone was getting